Okay, today we're playing a game on Volskaya Industries. We were playing Winston the entire way through, and there is no SR for today's game because it was a tournament game. This is the other half of the tournament game that we watched on Friday? Thursday? Sometime towards the end of last week, we watched a game on Lijiang Towers. Now, this is the other half of the video where we play a game on Volskaya. And this is a dive tournament, so both teams are going to be running dive at each other. You know? Which is much more exciting than watching your average game, to be fair. Much more exciting than, like, your bunkers double shields. So, right there, we just kind of decided to jump on their two tanks, which is really not what Winston is very good at killing, so we just kind of ended up taking a big chunk of damage, used our cooldowns, and it didn't actually accomplish anything, so, you know. So right now, also, what we're doing right here is we're just kind of, like, frontlining as Winston right now, which is not what Winston is really got. We're literally just, like, hopping around, like, tasing D.Va in, like, full view of their entire team. Like, we're not accomplishing anything other than, like, taking a bunch of damage and feeding some ult charge. Like, we're trying to jump on people, you know? We're not trying to sit there tasing their front line. So here comes, Mercy just flew in front of us right there, so she did manage to get away. So, well, we didn't immediately jump on her. Like, if we jumped on her sooner, we might have been able to kill her with the landing and the punch impact as well. Like, she drops really low. If we've jumped on her now, we might have been able to burst her to death with everything. We were probably saving our jump to try and follow her after she GA'd, but we didn't actually fully commit to that one either, because she just flew. We jumped before she actually GA'd, and she just kind of flew away from us. Then we died. So we didn't, like, use it early to try and kill her and burst her to death, and we didn't actually save it to follow her after she jumped either, so it's just kind of the worst of both worlds that we went for, more or less. We did also, like, tunnel vision on that Mercy real hard. Like, we took a fuck ton of damage trying to get that Mercy. Even if we did get the Mercy, like, we were gonna die regardless, because we took so much damage trying to get to her as well. And, you know, trading off healer for main tank, I'd be okay with that if I was them, to be honest with you, because, like, their Ana is the one that's, like, gonna be doing all the heavy lifting over there anyway. So Winston's asleep behind them. What I learned off that previous fight, and this fight as well, is that we are not going to get to kill Mercy through Ana. Ana is clearly going to try and keep Mercy alive, so we're going to be better off jumping straight on Ana, which is exactly what we did right there, and now Ana's fucking dead. So here we've got nano-boosted Mercy, Valkyrie floating around right now, nano-boosted Moth. I like to call that one the Mothra strat. So very inconvenient. We'll never kill her through, like, the fucking damage reduction and her regen. And now this is happening. Oh god, now she's using self-destruct. What a mess. Found Widow. So, health kit's not there. We don't really need to worry about that because we do have Primal Rage right now. We're going to use it right now to keep fighting. Fair enough. Primal Rage isn't like a big ultimate that you have to worry about saving, you know? We just say Widow was 1 right there? She is definitely not 1. We did indeed say Widow's on point 1. Or what I meant, like, on point 1, but it sounded like she's on point and she's 1. She definitely wasn't 1. Anyway, yeah. It's the shot calling in this game leaves something to be desired for me, because it's really just, like, 3 people yelling a different name half the time, and that's kind of it. As everybody's just yells a different name, and it's, like, really fucking loud. We have to turn the volume down a little bit more. We are the loudest one of all the boys, though, so that means, you know, we win, but it really is just a lot of yelling different names at each other. And I mean, you know, we're calling people out to be focused, obviously, but if everybody's calling a different name, there's probably not a whole lot of focusing actually happening in there. So we spot Ana, we're after Ana. Ana's gonna make us sleepy. The squid, Ana, she's in contenders, so Ana is, you know, she's probably likely to do a bit of heavy lifting in this game if she's in contenders, you know. Oh my god, just all the yelling. One's yelling D.Va, one's yelling Ball, one's yelling Tracer, so clearly no one's focusing anybody. Everybody's just going for a different boy. Isn't this just the worst? Yeah. Apparently there's a boostio on the point, which is very exciting. It's pretty much the best they're gonna do out of Mercy and Lucio, rather, trying to stall the point out. Diva is not one. We're yelling Diva 1 when she stalls like a third of her health. That's not one. This is just something that bothers me immensely. When you ever hear somebody go, oh, X is 1, and then you like, dive on X, and X is like half fucking health, or like, more, and you're like, what the fuck? This isn't 1. 1 is literally, I tap them once, they die. Yeah, also that, you know. I jump on someone, if I don't see them 1 hit from death, I'm mad about it, okay? Because I probably, like, I hear 1, I'll go out of my way to get to that person. If I get to them and they're not 1, I swear to God, I will be so mad. And, you know, no one will care that I'm mad, because why would they, to be fair? But I will be mad if I go there and they're not 1. So anyway, we captured the second point, we had a bunch of time to spare, so now we can potentially be in a position where they can't win anymore if they capture both points in overtime. They won't get the extension now, which is good, you know, potentially wins as a situation. So, we're saying my bad, which it definitely was. Again, just kind of frontlining as Winston. Winston's not good at that, we just ended up taking a big chunk of damage, and then we got clapped before we could jump away. You know, sitting in the choke point, tasing the bad men as Winston, and we put the bubble down in the choke point. I always hate that one, putting the bubble down in the choke point and then just kind of like tasing out of it. Like, now you can't jump on anybody because you put your bubble down like nowhere particularly productive, right? Because it's not a healthy shield, right? Like, it broke pretty quickly. And now you can't jump on the bad men. You took a bunch of damage in the choke point, tasing the bad men, and what happened? You did like a little bit of damage to their front line, but you're playing Winston, so it was minuscule amounts of damage to tank. So it just ends up accomplishing nothing. I'd rather just sit back and wait to find somebody to jump on and save the cooldown for it, you know? So, jumping in at that point, bad idea. We're just going to feed more ult charge at that point. We've lost that checkpoint. We're just yelling, shut up. Yeah, we're just yelling, shut up, because I shouldn't have done that, basically. Very productive conversation we're having. We're very loud, you know. I'm literally at like 20% volume, and we're still just yelling so loudly at them. Which, you know, we're being very assertive, which is an important quality when you're trying to shout call? Whatever, that works. Fair enough. Overshot the target a little, and we just kind of, like, jumped down. Alright. So, why do we jump that far up? Did she try and sleep us and we dodged it? We just, like, immediately jumped. Yeah. We didn't actually, like, dodge it. I'm pretty sure that was just missed. Yeah, 100% just missed us, so we just kind of ended up, like, not really doing very much, because then we ended up having to chase after her. We're also yelling, Anna, no sleep, while they're getting fucking dragon bladed. They've got bigger problems to worry about right now than Anna not having her sleep dart, like the fact Genji's fucking murdering them. Anyway, we did indeed pressure that Anna. A bit anyway. We ended up, like, trying to dodge the sleep that she just kind of missed barely anyway, so we ended up just, like, stopping the pressure anyway, and then, you know. Basically, we got rolled on the first point, which is pretty much, like, entirely our fault, because we died, right? We got caught out and died, like, immediately, and then they just rolled over our team before we got back again, so. And then they just go for the classic steamroll on the second point. Such is life. It's basically entirely our fault that one happened. And you know, that's just how life's gonna be sometimes. Sometimes it's gonna be your fault you threw. Unfortunately, I know. We all wish it was never our fault. For some of us, it never is our fault. Even though it probably still was. But, you know, if I don't listen to them, they can't prove me wrong. Fucking think about that one. How are you gonna prove me wrong if I just don't listen to you? Haha, I've got you now. So we're on the backside right now. We're looking for somebody, it looks like, but I'm not sure who we're looking for. Now we're rotating back around this way. Spotted Anna, coming in on the Anna. She's on, no, she's not gonna try and commit to the large health kit. She's just gonna back away. I was like, she's next to a hacked large health kit. It might be difficult for us to kill her here. She just left that behind, so that was nice. To be fair, she doesn't want to be right in Winston's face, no doubt. We did manage to kill the Anna, but we died doing it again, so, like, we don't want to trade 1-for-1 for people, because, you know, we're, like, our team's main tank as Winston, so trading 1-for-1 is almost always going to be in their favor, unless, like, they were already missing a healer and we traded 1-for-1 to kill the other healer. Like, it's not going to be beneficial for us to trade 1-for-1. This thing when you're playing like a diver or a flanker, this is a thing that like Genji and Tracer players always do that really tweaks me, and I'm sure it tweaks everybody, but when they like dive 20 miles deep to try and get somebody, die doing it, and then they're like, I got him, I died, but I got him, well, why didn't my team push in? I fucking got him. Well, they're just fighting 5v5 now, because you traded 1-for-1, so what did it really accomplish? It didn't gain any kind of advantage, we're just, like, even still, aren't we? Unless you killed, like, a really important target, let's be honest, the Genji fucking didn't, did he? Anyway, that's just me complaining about people that play this video game. So, when did we jump in here? Because we come back out and we didn't have our jump again. We jumped up the staircase right there. I mean, you know, fair enough to get away from the diva, but now, like, we're still not gonna get away, because now we, like, jumped away from the diva to be able to, and then we just, like, get run down by more than the diva, right? Like, so, jumping up the staircase, yeah, it got us away from diva, but then, like, what's step 2, right? Like, at that point, the best you can do is, like, save the jump once you, like, get to the top of the staircase to, like, try and jump away instead and hope just diva doesn't kill you. Because you jump to the top, it's like, alright, no, like, 3 people will be chasing us still, so 6 seconds on a jump, you know? So, basically, like, it seems to me like we got staggered pretty bad right there. It seems to me like we're basically just like jumping in with reckless abandon, where we're trying to get to the target that we have in mind at like all costs, but then we're not thinking about step 2, right? Like step 2 is how do I then get out afterwards, right? Baby Diva's jumped off to try and get her mech back, which is fair enough, given we've only got 1 fight left. Like, you gotta think a step ahead. You can't just think about, like, the getting in. You gotta think what you're gonna do when you get in, and then how you're gonna get out again. Because if you don't think about that, yeah, you jump in, you get the guy, you tase the guy, whatever, like, maybe you kill him. A lot of the time as Winston, you probably won't, actually, because, like, if they help each other when you jump on them, unless somebody's helping you, you're not gonna kill them, you're just trying to disrupt them. So you have to think about what you're gonna do once you've gotten in. Like, how am I gonna stay alive? How am I gonna get back out again? Whereas, like, it feels a lot more like we're just like, I'm gonna jump on Anna, find Anna, jump on Anna, almost like regardless of circumstances, and then just, like, fully commit to it, take a big chunk of damage doing it, and then don't get out again. Part of it is, like, the tank that we're playing with, because, like, with, like, Diva as the other tank, ideally she goes in, like, defense matrixing you, so you don't get, like, clapped as you're jumping in. This is why Zarya has always been a good combo with Winston. You bubble the Winston as he's jumping in, he's not going to take that damage jumping in, he's not going to get crowd controlled while he's jumping in, and then he doesn't take the big burst of damage, he's, like, full health when he arrives or close to it. Makes it a lot easier to get shit done. So, like, the off-tank, like, we're not coordinating well with the off-tank to, like, cover the approach. So we're really just, like, getting clapped when we jump in. Like, we're not coordinating well enough. So we just take this big burst of damage getting in. We arrive, alright? I haven't really thought further ahead of this, so now I've just arrived, I got clapped getting in, and I don't know how I'm gonna get out, so now I'm panicking, and now I'm dead. It is basically what it feels like is what is happening in this game. And then, like, the other half of it is just kind of, like, I feel like not knowing what to do. Because, like, that's usually what happens when, like, Winston's just sat in the choke point, like, tasing people. You, like, start frontlining his Winston. You just don't really know what... It feels like the person just doesn't know what to be doing at the time. So they just kind of, like, default to, like, how you'd play Reinhardt. Like, default tank position, basically. Which is sit at choke point, shoot Batman, right? Which is just, like, default state for tank. And so it feels like it's, like, not knowing what to do in certain circumstances, and then just, like, not thinking it through entirely when we have decided to do something. So, anyway, now, it's not looking good. We have to hold for 5 minutes and 7 seconds, the first tick, and, if we do, we draw. Great. Awesome. Radical. Great position to be in, everybody loves it. So, you know, same thing again, like, there, like, what was that ever going to do, right? Like, what was the potential possible outcome of us doing that? We do a little bit of damage to their front line, maybe their back line, when they're in the choke point, so they can easily disengage and heal. Right? That's, like, the potential payoff for what we were doing right there. What's the potential punishment we incur for doing that? We fucking die, and we don't jump out in time, right? Like, the risk-reward ratio is, like, dramatically skewed in their favor. We get, like, almost no reward for a incredibly high risk of death. It's not worth it. You're better off sitting back and just, like, waiting for them to come through, and then we can jump on somebody that's a high-priority target, instead of sitting in the choke point. Alright, use my bubble, did some damage, alright, took a bunch of damage. Oh my god, did you see how Widow fucking died? Oh, fuck. Oh, it's just like she lost the will to live. Which, I mean, fair enough, to be honest, given everything that was happening. I was saying something. The gist of it was don't sit in the choke point. It's Winston, you know. Anytime you're doing something, just think, like, what's the potential payoff for this versus what's the potential risk? And if the reward is not sufficiently high, don't do it, you know? Don't just sit in the choke point as Winston. Just wait for them to push through, jump on somebody that's a high priority target, save your cooldown, save your health, don't feed ult charge to the bad men, you know. We're yelling huge, we gotta pick on the Widow. Right there. Yeah, come on, jump off, come on, pile drive into the ocean, come on, That's what you do if you lost like that, you pile drive into the fucking ice. Anyway. We got gold damage still. Good job, us. Good job, us. Good job, us. Bad job, DPS. All set. Incredible. Great job, Tracer. She killed, like, one person. Alright, whatever. Damn, not even 4 cards. Yeah, so, I mean... Alright, first off, like, Jesus Christ... Yeah, I don't know if you play with these people regularly, if it was like a pickup group, but, like, Jesus Christ, the communication is just 3 people yelling 3 different names. That's not good communication. Like, you need to, like, streamline that a little bit, if you do play with these people regularly, because it's clearly just like a bunch of people are focusing different people and yelling the person they're shooting at, which is not helpful as far as shot calling goes, but I don't know if you play with these people regularly, whatever. It might just be a pickup group. And, like, so, the big thing is, like, think about what you're gonna do when you get in. Ideally, with a dive comp, you coordinate with the off tank, so you avoid taking this big burst of damage as you go in. If you can't coordinate with the off tank, you're, like, playing just, like, a reg comp or something like that, you know, then you have to think about your approach a lot more carefully, because if you jump in, but you lose half of your health jumping in, then you have accomplished nothing, really, because as soon as you get in, you're just immediately trying to get back out again, because you've already taken too much damage to stay in the fight, and at that point, you're not being a tank anymore. Especially someone like Winston, who is a tank purely because of his disruptive qualities. If you are immediately removed as a threat as soon as you arrive, you're disrupting no one, and it's accomplishing nothing. So, either coordinate with the off-tank or the supports a little bit better. That sometimes is enough, but, like, if you can't do that, think about the approach a lot more carefully. Like, how am I going to get in while avoiding as much damage as possible? Which usually means taking a more, like, annoying route to get to them, basically. Like Volskaya, you can jump through the right-hand side of the point, like, and then go up and around the backside of the first point. Like, that'll usually get you in, like, relatively damage-free, and there's a health kit back there if you have taken damage. And that's a safer way to get in. You know, it's taking a big burst of damage as you get in. You're going to achieve nothing once you arrive, essentially. And don't, like, sit in the choke point as Winston. Accomplishes nothing. So, thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. I've started streaming on Twitch Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8 p.m. EST till midnight, 11 p.m. EST, not midnight. There's a link to the channel in the description, and if you managed to make it all the way through the video and somehow still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future, and I hope you found the video helpful.